Hello everybody, Ryan from the VR Grid here, and today we're taking a side-by-side look at the various versions of Arizona Sunshine, both the original and the remake, and this vid is going to encompass 5 different comparisons. So check the description below or the bookmarks for the specific versions you're looking for if you don't want to watch the whole video. That being said, I'll be talking about each version individually as well as giving my overall thoughts on the remake and a final review score, so stay tuned for that, and without further ado, let's get to it. Oh, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Now, let's get to it. So first up we have Arizona Sunshine, the original PC version and the remake. And so of course this side-by-side is going to be incredibly different as the game has seen an entire overhaul in this remake edition. So I'm going to talk about my impressions of the original game as it kind of stands today, because jump back into that, it was trouble. I kind of remember this game through rose-colored glasses, and what's here now in 2024 is not good by current VR standards. The controls are not good. You can't dual hand a pistol. Dual wielding is off. Like it's just not playable. I mean, trying to aim with one hand, it's not good. Reloading, there's no manual reloading. All you do is eject a clip and then bring the gun to your waist. Whereas on the remake, you have the option for full manual reloading or the quick way. And the manual reloading for myself just makes things so much better. Now, of course, you will see on the original version a ton of pop-in, like a ton. I went through the settings. I actually played this on 2 different computers, and it happened on both of them. So I'm not sure if I'm missing a setting somewhere or just something's up, but there is crazy amounts of pop-in in there. So be aware. Now, I'm happy to say the remake looks substantially better. It's clear that Vertigo Games has learned a lot in the last 8 years. I mean, when they were, I think this was their first game. So they've come a long way when you do this side by side. Lighting effects are on point. Just like the amount of details and just your hands and everything else. It's just, you can tell there's more money being spent on this and that they've learned a lot of lessons. You'll see, like I said, just pay attention to just the texture quality and everything else. It's just so much higher on the PC version. Or on the remake version, rather. I'm going to do that a lot this video. I know it. But it's just great. It's fun. It's so much better now in the remake. And it's not perfect. They changed over your storage system. So now instead of having everything on your belt, now you store your 2 items on your wrist. Which is unfortunate just because you get melee in this game now as well. Which wasn't in there originally. So you can only store 2 optional weapons. Be it food, explosive, grenade, or a melee weapon. But in the original game, you could actually store at least 3 grenades, if not more, just on your chest. You just kept a counter. So you actually can carry less stuff now, which sucks because you kind of need or want more stuff now. That aside, it's still way better in the remake. The guns feel way better. Obviously, you can do the 2-handed thing. And even the level design feels more fluid, like just the cliff sides and even the overall way the game looks just looks more realistic. Save for the zombies look more realistic, but they kind of have this like almost like too much of a reflection, like a sheen on them, like they're almost like they're wet, which is kind of looks a little bit goofy. Something else they've changed in this version is they've kind of redone all the encounters. So while some are very similar, how the hordes come. There's like individual encounters where new stuff happens. You'll see here right away. You just actually saw one guy fall off a cliff. You'll see it again. And that's kind of throughout. And that being said, in the original, there are encounters that are just not here in the remake. At least on a normal difficulty, which I played this on. Just to try and get the most similar footage. You'll see here as well, Ragdoll's been added to everything you can grab. So, you know, this guy is sitting on this chair. See the water effects, by the way, look much better in the remake. But this guy in the chair, you can grab his limbs and kind of throw him around. Original version, nothing. He's just a static NPC who can't do anything. So coming up here, we're getting close to the end of this comparison. Once again, see, there's some encounters change. You'll see a guy jump off the ladder right here. Another difference is now in the original for ladders, you would just, if you approached it, you would just teleport to the top. Now in the remake, you can manually climb. Unfortunately, if you're jumping down, that's still like instant teleportation, which feels a bit goofy. There should be like a jump button or even like a, well, I guess jumping would be kind of tough to do that. I don't know, there could have been something more done there. And the last kind of nitpicky thing is the fact that there's still these checkpoints in between stages. You start and stop at the exact same place, So having this load to black screen, I mean, it's a loading screen. It's just kind of not ideal. Now we're doing the PSVR 2 and PC Remake. And as far as I can tell, honestly, these versions are identical on paper. The same kind of items pop up, but all the zombies are in place. I couldn't find any difference in them, save for the actual differences between the headsets and the controllers. So if you'll notice on the PSVR 2 version, and you'll see it later, I'll point it out, it is blurrier. Going from the PC using a Quest 3 tethered to the PSVR 2, it definitely was jarring at just how much of a loss of resolution it had. The Quest 3, I mean, its resolution isn't much higher, but with those pancake lenses, man, everything just looked crystal clear. And zombies in the distance, just stuff in the distance I could still see quite clearly. Whereas jumping back and forth in the PSVR 2 version, definitely, like, you know, faces were a bit muddier in the distance. Nothing critical, nothing crazy. And obviously, if you're not going to go back and forth like I did, you probably won't even really notice it like I did. But I did. And I did it to a point where I had to mention it in this video. So all you PC fanboys out there can be like, yay, ours is better. But it's better by just a tiny bit. And counter to that better PC clarity is the much better PSVR haptics, or PSVR 2 haptics rather, which the adaptive triggers are used to great effect. And that includes just your melee weapons, your various weapons, opening drawers, anything you touch elicits a little kind of vibration, and that's awesome. There's some more water effects here. The water looks way better, but like I said, as far as these two versions go, you can even see on the PSVR version just the way it's recording. What you're seeing, it is a bit muddier. I think it's actually more dramatic in this video than what it is in the headset, but it is noticeable nonetheless. So outside of that, of course, I'll talk about the game now. This is the remake version. It's kind of more, it's the full version of the original game. So you get the DLC, the 2 extra campaign missions, which add an extra hour and a half, 2 hours to the game. And you also get the 5 Horde level missions. I'm not a fan of Horde mode in either this or the sequel. It takes too long to get to the harder parts, and the easy parts are not that fun because they're so easy. It's best played with 4 players, obviously, but you can do it single if you want. It's fine. I mean, I think you'll maybe do it once, maybe more if you can find some online matches or play with friends, but it's not really that engaging. It's not the best Horde mode. You're just chasing high scores, and you know, by the end it gets so hard, you kind of wish you could start it almost later just to see if you get past those harder stages. It just becomes a war of attrition as far as ammo and stuff goes. Not great. So in the remake as well, they did change things up with the larger zombies, including both the taller and wider sets, who are a bit harder to kill. Those weren't in the original game, though they did add some stuff, it seems, to the Quest version, which I'll talk about in a second. So they did add the tougher to kill zombies, which was great. Now I'm going to say, I mentioned again, the second difference for the PSVR 2 is the aliasing, and you'll see it on this blue car up ahead specifically. Look at the shine and shimmer. You'll notice on the PSVR 2 side, you can kind of see the aliasing happening. That is noticeable in the headset. It's not crazy. I've seen way worse aliasing issues in other games, but it is there, and it isn't there in the PSVR, or in the PC version rather. So another kind of, I guess, slight knock against the PSVR 2 version, and I want to say slight. These are not critical issues. This is the same game. Trust me, I tried to mess with this thing to see if there was anything happening where I could tell there was some, you know, if the PC was superior graphically, you know, outside the headset, and I couldn't see anything. So here's your Horde. The best thing, other good thing about this game too, is the bodies stay on the ground. The gore is left behind, and they ramped the gore up too. So in the first game, it was fun, it was funny, but even, you know, when you blew apart skulls and stuff, it didn't look great. Like it looked like chunky, like you were blowing apart like video game skulls. Now in here, the gore factor is so high, it's just juicy and it's so satisfying. One other thing I'll mention actually, and this is my own personal, I guess, slight against the PSVR 2, is on the PC version and the Quest 3 version, I was kind of nailing headshots pretty often, like without much issue, but on the PSVR 2 version, I seem to struggle a bit more, and I'm not sure why. Now, obviously, the Sense controllers have a fair bit of size to them, which does make them holding them some weapons two-handed feel a little bit weird, like pistols specifically, I mean. Just because you're holding these big orbs, you can do it. It's not like it's awkward, but it can be like, it can feel a little bit off at first. I think that may have been part of my troubles. But honestly, I just ended up going through a little more ammo on the PSVR 2 side, having to really take my time to line up those shots to kind of make sure I did do that. Because while the game is very plentiful with ammo, I would still say too much. I mean, it's an easier game. If you're looking for challenge, I would definitely stick to the harder two difficulties than the easier normal. Because yeah, even on normal, the only time I ran into a challenge actually is if I continued from a checkpoint and not my actual continue, where it just gives you less ammo. So that's kind of a struggle. But besides that, yeah, if you're looking for more challenge, definitely stick it on the harder difficulties. Zombies are a bit harder to kill. I think ammo's a little less plentiful. So there's that. Also in the remake too, I did mention the some of the levels are changed, some transitions are changed. You can't see here, but this area was never in the original game. So they haven't just like redid this thing exactly. They've added new things. Like I said, even the military zone, these guys, actually I think these guys were in the original game. I've been playing too many of this. Bouncing back and forth has just been weird. So this is drawing the conclusion of the PSVR 2 and PC. Like I said, it's the same version of the game. Basically, you run into some headset issues as far as resolution and clarity, and like I said, those aliasing issues are there, but they are so minor. And if you didn't have me to talk about it, I don't think you'd really notice it as much. But it's there. What am I going to say? So moving on after this will be the Quest versions of the game. And this is the original Quest 1 version of Arizona Sunshine and the remake. And man, the PC version was hard to play, the original one. The Quest version was borderline not fun. This was a rough port, and I think they got ragdoll in there, which is kind of funny because they didn't get ragdoll in the PSVR 1 version. The Quest version, I think they tried to actually kind of fix some issues, and by putting those harder to kill zombies in there, like those ones with the polyps on them, you can see them crawling on the ground right now. Now you can't, of course. But they're not fun to play. I mean, you can see me grabbing at doors right now. Every version of this game, when you look at something you can grab, there's a little reticle that pops up. And even though grabbing can be a little finicky still, like if something's too close to each other, you might grab like a doll instead of a gun or something like that. For the most part, the grabbing works. In the Quest original, without that reticle, you didn't know what you could grab. So, and sometimes doors are locked, and the only sign you have of that would be if like it makes a sound. But things didn't always make a sound, but because grabbing was so difficult, you actually didn't know if you were like allowed to grab a drawer. It became very awkward, very just frustrating. And I don't know why that was omitted from the Quest game. So suffice to say, the remake, you can see side by side, the remake is substantially better overall. The visuals have been like, this is probably the most dramatic change in regard to side by side visuals between the original and the remake on the Quest, as opposed to the PC or PSVR. Just because it's the Quest remake, the gameplay is all intact. It's the same game, no matter which headset you play it on. Just on the Quest, you're losing that those higher resolution graphics. The details aren't there, but they're still high. The zombie count is like way higher on the remake than in the original Quest version. So that's nice to see. Like I say, it's on point. It's great. And it's fun. I'm actually enjoying. I was actually playing this on the Quest first and having a great time. And I'm actually going to finish this now, I think on PC, just because of that, just that clarity. I can't deny how much that means to me. I wish I had Sense controllers on that. But I don't. And overall, yeah, just see, there's just, so much going on. There'll be another horde attack right now here. This time on the Quest, you can just see the Quest version is just rough. And I don't mean to harsh on Vertigo Games. I'm sure at the time, I mean, this was built for the Quest 1. Like I said, this was the best they could do. But with the Quest 3 out there, and this runs on the Quest 2 as well, I can't wait to see if this gets a Quest 3 specific update, just to kind of make things a little bit better. Because having, these games be more on par with the console and PC counterparts would be great. And we'll see stuff like that coming soon. Not with Batman, obviously, but stuff like Metro, hopefully Alien Isolation and Behemoth, where we start to see the power of the Quest 3 really in action. But this is what we get for now. This is still a Quest 2 port. And my understanding is, like I said, nothing's been changed between the Quest 3 and Quest 2 version, other than obviously the upscaled resolution, I think. But that's about it. And so yeah, we'll finish this off. It's cool to see these side by side. I like seeing like what's been changed and what's different. Like, just it's fun to see where the developers had fun with this in regards to changing certain things, adding stuff. The lighting on the Quest version is static still, but it's the environmental stuff is done quite well. I think it's on par with the PSVR 2 version, even though it is static, or PC version, same thing. A little bit softer, but we'll see that in the next video. Next video, something like that. And yeah, it's just fun to see, like, even on the Quest original, like the zombies disappear after a while. Like, you're just left alone. It feels barren. It feels, man, like if this was released today, in 2024, in its current state, the original version, there'd be no one would buy this thing. No one would say to buy it. It's not fun to play. So as we wrap up the end of this one, there's some pop in there on the Quest or the remake side of things. Not nearly as much as the original though. Like, just plants are popping up, things are disappearing. You can just tell it was pushing the Quest 1 to its limits, and it's pretty awesome to see where we've come in the last 5 years. So you see another change here, just how the zombies are set up. But like I said, at this point in time, I'm kind of done talking about these two versions, I think. The game is cross-platform, so whether you want to play Horde mode or multiplayer co-op, you can do that with a friend who has a headset that runs this game, which is awesome. I love Vertigo games for that. I wish more games would support cross-platform play. And that's kind of where I land in regards to my overall review. The inclusion of melee is awesome. It does make this feel like a complete zombie killer game. And while it is lacking bosses and the campaign's on the shorter end, you know, I said 3, maybe 4 hours if you're playing on the harder difficulties and dying a lot. But with the new mechanics in play, the game is easier, I guess. So yeah, it's a 3-hour campaign, which I think makes the $30 asking price for this kind of high. But with the $10 asking price, that's way more in line. If you already bought the original game, $10 is perfectly fine for this. The game has been overhauled quite nicely across any version. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand. I mean, if I were to give this thing a score, I think I'd still stick with a 7.5. I gave the original a 7.5 on the PSVR 2 day. I gave Arizona Sunshine 2 a 7.5 nowadays. And I think I'm comfortable with that for this game. It's not great. It's got some flaws. I hope if they make a third one, they kind of learn from these mistakes and put, you know, some more kind of boss battle type things in here. Maybe make some bigger levels. Change your inventory options, that like minor changes, but changes that I think are necessary to help grow the franchise. Now, with that being said, we're done with the Quest stuff, and we are on to, all right, PC original and the Quest. That's right. So I thought it'd be fun to actually check out the original PC version versus the Quest remake, just to kind of see where we've come from in the last 8 years. Like I said, this is the PC version on max. Now the pop-in, you know, like I said, that could be an issue on my end. But even with the dynamic lighting, like outside of that, the zombies look kind of dull, like washed out. They choose some very weird models, in my opinion, for the original version. Whereas the remake version, they look much more natural looking. They come in way more variety in forms. Just their movements are better. How they stumble around. There's some animations in the original where they almost looks like they're moving in slow motion. The way they trip over things and stuff. That isn't here anymore in the remake. So it just flows better. There's less awkward situations where you're kind of looking at these zombies and just kind of thinking, yeah, these are like video game assets and not great ones. So as we rummage through these internal areas over here, the game is less impressive. Inside, like these darker areas, you kind of lose a lot of those details and stuff, but they are there. And you can't deny it's a better looking game. We'll get to the little explosion. Better on the remake. The fire, it's not just smoke and mirrors. And this encounter is different as well. You see like an actual horde attack on the remake, whereas on the PC, it's like a couple guys. Gets to view some melee action on the Quest side right now. And then after this, we'll take care of the PSVR version versus the Quest remake version. PSVR 2 rather. Which, like I said, once more, it's basically the PC version. It's just going to look a little bit blurrier for this comparison video, but hey, that's where we're at right now. As we go through this, once again, it seems to be these transition areas where they changed some of the major geometry. Like in the original one, this was just like a straight path. You turned a corner and you were at the mine. Whereas now on the remake side, you're actually going through like canyons to get there. It's subtle. I mean, unless you memorize the original game, you wouldn't even notice that. But side by side, you pick things up. So now, like I said, we're at the final stage of this video. Right now, we're going to jump to the PSVR 2 version and the Quest Remake version, which is the most important comparison, I say. It's totally valid and it's totally fair, which I actually do believe that because, this game's advertised across multiple headsets. People want to know what they're missing or they're getting or losing with each version. And you can see the shadows there. They're just a lot sharper. That's the dynamic letting it play, I think, anyways. Because you can see as zombies walk in and out of shadow on the PSVR 2 version, they are fully lit up. Whereas on the Quest, they just go from like light to dark. Texture quality's higher. Everything's higher on the PSVR 2 version, of course. So the major differences come back down once again to what I said before in regards to haptics. The haptics, of course, are way better on PSVR 2. The adaptive triggers do make a difference enough like to possibly make a choice for the headset you want to play this on if you have the option. Like I said, the Quest 3 version is no slouch. Whoa. Quest 3 version is no slouch, and you do have that clarity with the headset. The resolution of the headset is fairly impressive, and while you do lack the finer details, it looks crisp. There's no denying that it looks crisp. The gore effects as well are still also quite nice on the Quest 3. Not as great as the PSVR 2 stuff. Like the PSVR 2 and the PCVR, it just looks wet. Like it actually looks like ichor. It looks gross. And on the Quest 3, I find it looks a little more like cartoonish, I guess. Once again, it's nitpicky stuff here. As we go through to the end of this thing here, I'm not going to talk too much more about it. Oh, I forgot to mention something critical here. The PSVR 2 version does use 60 hertz reprojected, so there is reprojection. So when you do turn using thumbsticks, you do see that kind of blurriness, which is unfortunate. I'm actually really hoping that Vertigo Games takes the time to maybe update this to run at 90 hertz native. That would be great because obviously on the PC and Quest you don't see that kind of reprojection. I didn't notice any asynchronous warp on the Quest 3. It's the same thing. I didn't pick up on that. If it's there, it's being used well. There was some funny issues with... No, that's the first game. Never mind. Man, I'm forgetting stuff. I've been working on this video for so long, guys. Back and forth and back and forth. I'm trying to remember all my facts now. And, yeah, anyways. So it's cool to see, like I said, it's the same encounters, the same scripted moments. But that's what you want. You want to be getting the same game on the Quest 3 as you are on the PSVR 2, or at least as close as possible. And, like I said, overall, I'm very happy with the Quest 3 version. It was the version I was playing with, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. Especially going back and playing the original. When I played the original, I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe this was like acceptable. And that's 5 years ago. The original for Quest is 5 years ago. So that's crazy. So we've come a long way, at least Meta has in regard to Vertigo, but as far as like just potential quality of titles, like this is a huge upgrade from the original. Quest 3 versus the original.
This tour, so much fun.
So I don't think I'm running out of things to say in regards to comparison sides other than the obvious stuff. There's a funny moment here with I call him, Sad Keanu. The meme there, if you guys know that, there's a sad Keanu zombie just kind of sitting here. I mean, it's got to be that meme, right? It's got to be. And as we wind this video down, this is the last comparison I'm doing, by the way. I just wanted to make sure I kind of put, preface the two major versions currently. Your ammo, get this stuff. Make sure you search for ammo. I will say as a pro tip, like, take the time to look around in this game and make sure you find everything, because during those horde battles, which you'll see right away, it counts. They get pretty intense. The amount of zombies in this game versus the first game, or the remake versus the original, is crazy. Like, it's crazy. Even on normal, this next horde mode, it became overwhelming. You couldn't fire your gun fast enough. Every headshot missed was just, it's like, oh, damn it. It gets tough. But outside of those specific horde moments, the game itself on those first two difficulties, it's not very challenging. There's plenty of time. Most of the zombies do walk slow, so you have that time. Even the fast ones that do, it's easier. Like especially compared to the first game. The first game, man, those headshots didn't really register as much. It was quite frustrating to play that first game, or the original. It was quite frustrating. So as we wind this down, I think I'm gonna, like I said, if I'm gonna give this, I'm gonna give either version, the PC or Quest version, the 7.5 out of 10, or PSVR 2 for that matter. I think no matter which headset you play this on, this is gonna be fun. It's a good time. Like I said, if you're getting it brand new, $30 does seem steep to me. So maybe try to find a sale, even using a Quest referral code or something along those lines, just to help that out. But for a $10 upgrade price, I do it. I highly recommend doing it. It's awesome. Guys, I'm going to leave you with this horde mode here. You can kind of watch the destruction unfold. If you enjoyed this stuff, let me know what you think of this video. Honestly, this is a super long form side-by-side. Let me know what you think, what you didn't think. If you noticed something that I didn't really bring up. And, like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff, because I'm planning on doing a lot more side-by-sides. Not to this extent, I don't think, but who knows. And of course, leave a comment. I want to hear what you guys think about this, how you guys feel about this long form video, if it was too much. And yeah, I think that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Let's enjoy some destruction.
Whew. That was pretty crazy. But I made it. I made it. Let's go. Come on.